What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the MMA Huddle. It's myself, Will, and John here for another UFC kind of breakdown. Coming off Atlanta with two absolutely dingers of main events and title fights. I know there's a lot of talk about like having interim titles and so on, but I was glad we had 5 rounds in those two fights because it was needed, especially in kind of both fights. Because actually, I don't kind of disagree. I don't agree with the kind of the Pori scorecards. I actually think Max Holloway's got an actual stake to kind of win that fight. That's just my opinion, but you can't. It's a close fight. You can never really take away. And that Adesanya Gastelum fight was just a fucking great fight. It was one of my favorite fights I've seen in a very, very, very long time. And Adesanya just showed himself to be one of the not overrated as a lot of people were saying. I'm just like, I don't understand those people that are saying that. So yeah, we move over to St. Petersburg. So the UFC obviously moved into Russia last year. And they're going to, from what I hear, they're going to Sochi later on in the year. So they're going to these different markets around Russia, which is awesome. And they're bringing in some serious talent as well. This is what I was thinking about the Russian market when they were coming in. I was like, are they going to be able to get all the talent that is there? And they are. So fun card to kind of break into. We're kind of trying quickly get through that. I've got some real life problems, aka work, that's kind of been sprung upon me, and I've got to catch a flight in the morning. Before all that, I think we're at 499 in YouTube subscribers. Just gets to 500 ASAP. So you can catch us on all different formats for listening and so on. And yeah, we'll get into this in a little second. John, how's things with you, bro?
After last night's card, which again, like you said, bro, people are a bit overhyping the Gastelum Adesanya card, like saying fight of the year. I'm like, it was good for the last few rounds, but it wasn't. Let's just chill out. It's April. There's going to be better fights. I guarantee you, right now, there's going to be high level. It was a good fight. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying it was a really good fight, but it wasn't great. It's not a classic. It was a good scrap. Just trust me on this one, people. People jump the gun because they see it at the time, they follow the hype, and just chill out. Just take a chill. But yeah, mate, enjoyed it.
Yeah. It was just I enjoyed some. Like I thought, Khalil Roundtree looked absolutely phenomenal. He absolutely blew Eric.
Yeah, it's like Tiger Muay Thai, and that just paid off dividends, didn't it? You know, gosh, just moving up, jumping shop.
I went to bed last night around 4 a.m. and the Khalil fight was the last one. I watched Dwight Grant and Alan Joe Ban. I thought, right, I'm going to bed. I'm going to miss these last couple of fights. Watch them in the morning, and that was the first fight I seen. Was that, and I was blown away by how good Khalil was. In that one there, big jump in his confidence, it looks like, in his ability in that one. So, like I said, we're going to get into this one. We're going to try and get through this as quickly as we kind of can before I fall asleep because my eyes are shut. And then as I'm speaking there, a long day with the little one. So, lightweight division. Kicking off, this is a guy that we've not heard of in a very long time, but he's actually a really solid fighter. I think the last time I actually seen him was in Northern Ireland, wasn't he? Yeah, he was.
Yeah, we were there at the event, man. Yeah, he looks like an absolute psychopath when you meet him in the pictures.
2.5 years though. I didn't realise it was that long. Magomed Mustafaev against Rafael Fiziev, and John, I'll let you go with this.
Man, well, Magomed had been injured. That's why he'd been away for so long. Because I was curious. Well, I thought, oh gosh, he must have been popped by USADA. So I had a quick look into it. Apparently, it was like some issue with injury and stuff like that kind of kept him away. It was it was hard to nail down the reason because obviously it was Russian interviews and stuff like that. So what I could get from there looked like he had an injury, so it took him a bit of time to get back. And he's coming back into a fight against a dude who is a fun guy. Rafael is a badass motherfucker, dude. Like this guy, he's got wicked striking, lovely combinations, trains at Tiger Muay Thai as well. So Fiziev, he'll throw some great combinations and great strikes. I'm looking forward. It's a tough fight for Magomed to come back because that long out. Match sharpness, fight sharpness. He's shown, he's tough. He's shown that he's got powerful striking, aggressive striking on his end as well. I mean, I look forward to this fight. Honestly, I think this fight's going to be absolute barn burner to kick the fight card off. I'm going to go with your new boy, Rafael, man, because I think big factor, time off. Also, Magomed talked about possibly retiring because of the injury. It was one of the things that was on his mind. He wants to open up a gym, I think, where he lives or near where he lives, be a coach and stuff like that. So maybe retirement plans is something in the back of his mind. Always a worry. And obviously the injury thing. But Rafael, man, I think catch people out, man. He's got legit skills on the feet. He pops, he cracks, he's strong dude. I'm gonna go crazy. I think Rafael can maybe get a decision win here, man. I think it's gonna be a great fight, though. I think it's gonna be kick the card off big time.
It is a really good fight to start off the fight card. I would kind of expect this fight actually to be further up the card because I think it's two really, really good fighters.
Yeah.
Both strikers by trade, don't go for an awful lot of takedowns, and just it's going to be interesting. I did not realise that it was. I thought it was 2017, but obviously 2016. It's a lot of time out in the sport, 2.5 years. We'll start with the newcomer, kind of Muay Thai background. Really, really, really dangerous striker, and you've seen if you see his highlights in his fights out there, a very dynamic striker, throws a lot of knees, and he's very, very good in using his knees. I think there was that video out there, like the head kick, wasn't it? The kind of Matrix style kick.
Yeah.
Kind of maybe fans might actually see it. I think it went kind of viral. So, solid head movement. He just wants to keep the fight standing. But he has a couple of wins. I think he's got one via sub and he's got one via ground and pound. But he doesn't shoot for takedowns. He's predominantly a stand-up striker, and he breaks his opponent with his knees, with his very hard leg kicks. He has a lot of power and a lot of speed. And it's just interesting to see what shape Mustafaev's in because he's a solid fighter. He had a big fight against Kevin Lee last time. That was a big jump up in opposition. For an interim title and so on. But I'm with you. I'm going to take Fiziev here. I think that he is Fiziev. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm going to take Fiziev. I think I'm going to pick him via knockout, actually. Nice. I think he's going to catch Mustafaev with a shot and actually take him out. Really interesting fight to start the night. Interested to see Mustafaev back. Interested to see Fiziev, see how he is in the UFC. And interesting fight. Next up, Gazimurad Antigulov against Mikhail Oleinik. And Oleinik is a guy who's impressed me. He's made a kind of believer out of me after that Volante, because Volante's he's very he's not, what's the word I'm trying to look at, like kind of disrespecting him here. He is very
he is your Gleason T-Bound.
Yeah, he's never going to be a big guy. It's going to be a named guy, but not a named guy, if you know what I mean. He's perfect for these guys coming up. So your Johnny Walkers and your Mikhail Oleinik and so on. But he went in there and absolutely got starched by Mikhail last time out and made a believer out of me. I think I actually picked him against Khalil. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But this guy's good. I think this guy's going to turn into a really, really good fighter. He's not killing himself to cut weight. I think he's a natural... Or he used to fight at middleweight and he's kept himself at light heavyweight. So, yeah, I like him here. Antigulov, to me, he's very injury prone. He's pulled out a lot of fights. He says he's 32. I think he's a lot older than 32. And he's just coming off a dirty, dirty knockout back in the summer of last year against Ion Cutelaba with his wins over Peugeot and Christensen. Not really... kind of fights kind of ride home about. Dangerous on the ground. I don't see him getting it to the ground. I see Mikhail just keeping him at distance, boxing him up a little bit, and then I think he will outwork him, and I think he will hurt him actually. I think he will knock him out. So I'm going to go Mikhail Oleinik to knock him out here and get another stoppage.
Well, I'm with you, Mikhail, as well, mate. I just think he's, like I say, he is a 185. His pace, his speed, his footwork, his movement. He's doing so much. Antigulov is not going to be able to keep up with it, and it's just going to catch him out. Come to the second round, I think Antigulov will probably get a couple of takedowns in the first, if I'm honest with you. He has got that initial, freshness, power, speed. He is good for that start. But as you see with him, he tires really quick. It is a quick decline on the gas tank for him with the efforts. And I think come to the second round, it's going to take a toll. He's going to be a bit slower. His reaction time's not going to be there. Those body shots that Mikhail can pop, man. Woo! Those liver shots are legit. He's got really good timing with slipping, straight shots and then just ripping that body. Really good, especially when people are overextending with the punches, when they miss and ripping that body. It's kind of emphasis on it kind of adds more damage to you. I'm with you as well. I'm going to say he's going to stop him too. I think those hands are just going to land. Second, third round, he's going to stop him. I can't wait to see him go and destroy him.
Like I say, I was slow kind of getting on him, but I think he looks really, really good. But we're interested to see him against Antigulov because I think he'll cause a couple of problems. I think Makhachev's the better fighter overall for me. So, heavyweight division: Marcin Tybura, Shamil Abdurakhimov. Who you got?
Shamal's one of those guys who just doesn't look that great, but he's weirdly effective in fights. Like, he's just so big, I think, as well. I think Marcin is used to fighting big lumps like this. You know, Marcin is one of the more actively kind of athletic kind of heavyweights, is the way to put it. You know, he is a bit lighter on the toes. He does throw a bit. He throws a higher output. He has got a better striking kind of repertoire. Shamil just can crack. You know, he just has to land a big shot and he can hurt you. If you look at the Derek Lewis fight, he was winning the fight. He was getting the takedowns. He was, you know, Lewis wasn't doing much, and then Lewis does what Lewis does. You know, he stands still, and if you go in his range, he lands a strike, and it hurts. 3-round fight. I think Shamil is very live. I think Marcin's live too. I think Marcin might do enough to win this fight. Just get a decision. I think he can move around enough to get out of the way. You know, it's a hard one to pick because I just think Marcin's got more of an offense with the mixture of strikes, nice head kicks, all sorts of punch and kicks he can throw. Shamil less so, but the power's there. If I'm Shamil, I want to try and take Marcin down and just try and get the weight on him and try and just tire him out a bit. But I'm going to go with Marcin decision, but I'm going to go make a 2-1 decision. I'm not uber confident because Shamil he's weirdly not that great, but weirdly effective in fights.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on Tybura. I think before I maybe overrated Tybura a little bit. And thinking he was maybe better than I thought he was, and it's just maybe because I've seen a little bit more of him. I expected maybe a little bit more out of him, but he's turned into I think he's only ever going to be a solid kind of pro in the UFC, but he's still going to do enough to win fights in my opinion. So I think I bet him. When did I bet him? Against Derek Lewis, and typical Derek Lewis just kind of pulled something out of the bag there, and he's got a slight advantage. I think he's the similar size. He's got a reach advantage, and he's just solid. He's solid in every area. He's got some grappling. He's got some striking. His output's pretty not great, but he gets enough done. He usually throws kind of more strikes than what his opponents do. To be honest with you, through a lot of output in the 5 rounds, he went with Verdum. Lost that one pretty unanimously. Goes for takedowns pretty easily. He got Struve down like 5 times, but Struve's always been kind of known to have pretty bad kind of takedown defense. Got Derek Lewis down, got Arlovsky down. So the guy gets takedowns and he can ride out kind of wins from there. That's kind of how I think he'll try and do. I think he'll try and outbox him on the feet. Not that he's a great boxer, but I think that's what he will try and do. Shamil's just he's dangerous just for the fact that he doesn't offer much volume, very low signature volume of strikes, I should say. His takedown accuracy isn't that good. He clinches up a lot. But the guy's coming off a couple of wins. I know the Chase Sherman, I know it's Andrei Arlovsky, but he's on the other side of winning fights there. So I know that Tybura's come off the Struve win, but I think I'm going to go Tybura. I think he throws more. And I think he's just, to me, he's the more well-rounded fighter. And that's kind of where I'm going with that one. I think could be really close. It could be like one of these split decision type kind of fights. But I'll go Marcin Tybura via decision. Moving on, we've got Alexander Yakovlev against a guy. I've not watched this guy, but I have heard of him. Alexander Yakovlev against Alex de Silva Coelho. Like I say, this week's going to be a struggle for me, I think, with my own predictions because, like I said, I've got shit to do tomorrow. But I'm not going to. I might get a chance to maybe watch a couple of fights or whatever. But his record, just looking at his record, not all that bad. But he is
look at his age.
Yeah, 23 years old. So the guy fights a lot. Actually, I wonder, when was his first pro fight? If he's 23 years old. 2014, so 5 years, 18. It's not too bad, I suppose. Coming up through that circuit over there in Brazil. Like I say, it's hard for me to kind of sit here and evaluate him when I've never really watched that one of his fights. So, but from what I've heard from a couple of people that have watched a lot more than me and guys that I kind of respect a lot about watching fights, they think this guy's a live fighter here. And I've never been overly impressed with Yakovlev. Very solid, kind of well-rounded, fought far better caliber of opposition. He's at that 34, coming on 35 age, so he's not young anymore. And he's beat the guys in the UFC you can't expect him to beat your Gray Maynards and your George Sullivan. But when you look at guys like tough guys, Maya's a tough fight regardless. Anyway, that's a really, really, really tough fight. Masuki is another guy.
As well.
Yeah, it's just Masuki back in, that was like 2014. That's probably when he was in his best part of his career. Zach Cummins is always tough. And Kamaru Usman's now got the strap there. But like I say, it's kind of hard for me to make a pick. I think the way I'm in my mind now thinking about it, I'm kind of leaning Silva, but I've literally not watched a lick of tape on the guy, so it's hard for me to say. I was going to try and do some today, and I got caught with other things, and I'll go Silva, but like I say, I've not watched all that much on him, so if I get an opportunity, I'll maybe drop a note in the drop-down box, and I'll tell you why I think he will win. But I'll kind of edge with him as of right now.
I'm going to go Yakovlev myself, bro. I did watch tape on Alex. I think he is young. He's quick. He throws nice combinations. Some of the opposition were, let's say, not of a UFC level. So it was hard to get a true read on him. But he does show, for example, he gets put on his back. He's active, going for submissions. I did like that. Yakovlev's not a bad grappler. I believe he's won some grappling comps. He's been out for a little while too. So it's interesting to see, you've got a veteran in Yakovlev who's been out for a little while. How's he going to come back? Alex going to be quick. Speed is a killer. So that is making me find this a really hard one to judge, because I think speed kills. Yakovlev would be a bit slow coming in. Can he just get caught by Alex just coming in, just hell-bent? I just think Yakovlev, the problem for me, Alex Silva opens himself up to the takedowns. And I think Alex, be a smart man, get these takedowns, grapple with him, just get the 3 rounds under your belt and get out of the way. So I'm going to sway Yakovlev on that sense. Yakovlev can crack, don't get me wrong. We've seen him crack. He's got good striking. But at the same time, I think this is the kind of fight where you think, just be smart, get him down, dominate the ground, maybe get half guard, land some good strikes, just wear the kid down and then get to like a decision win. But I'm going to go Yakovlev, but I would not be shocked if Alex Silva just comes in the first round, just quick and like a buzzsaw and goes through Yakovlev, because the kid is quick, he is explosive, but he is open there to get taken down.
Yeah. So moving on, Sultan Aliev against Keita Nakamura. How do you see it going?
Man, let's just give a praise to Sultan for that beautiful chest hair he has. Like, that is a prize-giving body of chest hair he has. Gosh darn it. Jealousy is rife with all men out there wishing we looked as manly as that man. Dude, Sultan's a stud. He is. He can take a hit. Last fight against Wally Alves had to stop because I don't know if it was like an orbital or whatever happened. His eyes swelled up like a balloon, so he couldn't open his eye. Ended the second round. The fight was over. But he still wanted to keep going. He could take a punch, but man, he's fighting a guy, Nakamura, who's just one of those dudes who's just so people just get caught out by how maybe strong he is, the grappling aspect. They get caught out by his strong. Nakamura's just one of those guys. He's way too underrated as a competitor. Say that again.
Very crafty.
Yeah, he is, and I think this is where my kind of sway goes to Nakamura in this fight. I think Sultan is a striker, likes to be powerful, good strikes, likes to finish dudes. But I think Nakamura is just I know he's been getting clipped a little bit, and obviously age is a factor. A pair of them are not on the younger side, but I think Nakamura can just stay out the way a little bit. He can enclose the gap, get the grappling aspect, maybe get to the fight ground. And Nakamura's just hard to time on some people. Sultan lands strikes, but he's not a great striker. He does finish people because he blasts his way with punches to land, but he's not a high level striker. I don't see him as a let's say like a Israel. He's not that kind of striking. He's just powerful moving forward, and I think Nakamura can take advantage of it. I think Nakamura's a smart dude. I'm going to go decision Nakamura because he's just one of those guys that gets decision wins. You can't write Nakamura off no matter who he fights. So I'm going to go decision win Nakamura, but would I be shocked with a decision win for Sultan? Not really, 'cause he could probably maybe get the decision win too. So I'm going to go 2-1 Nakamura.
Yeah, I'm with you on Nakamura. I think this fight smells. I think this is going to be a low output kind of fight. There's not going to be much in it. I think it's going to be a lot of clinching up. Nakamura is actually coming off a win over that Salim Tuari guy down in Australia, where he used his striking predominantly. So he kind of mixes up. He kind of uses his grappling, but he went in there and kind of touched him up on a very, very close split. And this is kind of when I see this going here. I think Sultan's going to want to use his strikes to kind of engage in a clinch. But someone like Nakamura, who is very, very crafty, like I said before, and it's just a tough guy, you don't really look good against a guy like Nakamura. You don't really come out smelling roses out of it. And I just think these rounds are going to be super close. I know Sultan's kind of fighting at home, so he might have that in his kind of back pocket a little bit. But I just feel like Keita Nakamura's actually just going to do a little bit more. I think he's just going to look a little bit better than what Sultan is. And I feel more confident in picking Nakamura than I do Sultan Aliev. So I'll go a very close split. And I know that's kind of saying something, a Japanese fighter getting into Russia and maybe win a split decision, but I'll pick him to win a very, very, very closely contested fight there. Interesting debutants here in Movsar Evloev against Sungwoo Choi. I always, like I say, I've said this before, I love seeing newcomers come into the UFC. I think that especially with the Russian talent that they're bringing in, because he's got a lot of... they've got a lot of talent. They've got talent coming out of their ears in that country. I think this kid, this Movsar Evloev, has... I think he's a legit talent, actually. I think he's going to be a really, really good fighter that'll probably... I think he'll make the rankings sometime in his career. So it'll be interesting to see... it'll be interesting to see him. Like, he's a fantastic grappler, as you'd expect with the guys coming out of that region. And he's dominated most of his kind of opponents with that. On the feet, good jab, couple of good 1-2s, especially when he goes down the middle. But he leaves his chin in there. And that's something he has to shore up, because in the UFC, if you leave your chin in the air for too long, the caliber of fighter they've got there is just going to catch you and put you down. It's when he puts it... that's something I think he still needs to do, is try and put it all together, because his grappling, in my opinion, is really, really good. And he needs to work on kind of getting... work on his distance to get takedowns better, pretty much. Single legs, double legs is something he kind of specialises in, and he kind of works to the back to kind of get that. But once he kind of gets your back, he looks very dominant there, and looks really, really handy when he's down the ground. Couple of submissions via rear naked chokes, active ground and pound. I think he's a legit talent. I think he's got a lot of potential kind of going forward. The newcomer in Choi here, I think he's solid. I think this is kind of much, when I look at this, it's your striker versus grappler. But I think he's kind of got a discrepancy on maybe getting taken to the ground and being kept there, which is something that Evloev is really, really good at. Plants his feet, throws some bombs. He has knockout power, but he has been dropped and finished before. So that's something that maybe says that his chin's not the best thing going for him. He throws a lot of kind of low kicks, which are quite strong hitting when you see them, and very kind of quick with his hands. Uses the kind of front kick to keep the fight at distance a little bit. And I don't think his takedown defense is bad. I just think this guy is going to get him down, and he's going to maneuver to the back. So I actually think... this is a kind of tough one. I think I do like this Evloev kid, but this Choi, like I said this, I think it was Peter Yan last time. I maybe underestimated the opponent that Peter Yan is, because I'm such a Peter Yan kind of super fan, probably. But that guy he was against was really really gutsy and really, really tough. And I can kind of see this guy being like that as well. But I like Evloev to kind of... I'm a little bit kind of, like I said, I've spoke up about Evloev here. But I think that Choi could maybe stop a couple of takedowns, and then if it's on the feet, then he will have the advantage. But I just think the aggressiveness of Evelev will get takedowns. He'll find a way at the back, and I think he might just get a submission. So, but I like this Choi kid as well. I think he's decent, but I like where this Evelev could kind of potentially go in the future. So I'll pick him via submission rear naked choke.
Ooh, nice. Okay. Decisive finish. I'm with you. I think Evelev's got a good talent. He's got a good gas tank. Look at his last one, M1, round 5, and he's finished with a knockout. Right hand, right down the pipe, took the chin on as a Diaz, I think the guy was called, and just dropped him, and then finished with ground and pound. Young kid, great talent. Like you said, the grappling side of things, he's good when he gets on top as well. He's got good top position, good hold of people as well. I think, like you say, I think the takedowns will be effective. I think the chaining of the wrestling takedowns will catch Choi out, because I think Choi will probably have experienced a guy of that kind of grappling kind of credentials, so to speak. So with the takedowns linking up the different variations, it'll catch Choi out, I think, a little bit. Choi looks quite long for the division as well, looks quite lean, long bodied. He's got a nice pop in his right hand. I think that can be a problem for Evelev, but as long as he, initiates the grappling aspect with a striking, throw a couple of jabs to go for a double leg or something. Don't just shoot in, because you'll obviously be telegraphing your takedowns there. The pair of them obviously are going to have the kind of, I don't want to say octagon jitters, but the bright lights. You don't know how both of them are going to perform. But if you go off performances outside of UFC and with your will, I think it's going to be Evelev. I'm going to go with decision though, because you can't write off these unsung kind of Asian dudes. They just come out of nowhere and they're just tough as nails, and they somehow last those 3 rounds. So I'm going to go decision win, but I think 2 of them are going to be fun additions to the bantamweight division. I think Evelev's got a higher ceiling as well, definitely, because he's fought the higher caliber as well on M1, on that scene. It's just kill or be killed in that kind of region.
Yeah. Moving on to the main card now, Krzysztof Jotko against Alen Amedovski. How do you see things going?
Jotko back after a bit, I think he took the right step and taking a little bit of time off. A couple of fights didn't go his way, not how you wanted to go. And I think you might be in the same boat as me, where I thought Jotko had a bit of a higher ceiling than I thought maybe. I thought he was going to be, going a bit further than he did in his career, and obviously a little couple of setbacks. I still think he's a bad man. I still think he's a good dude, but man, I'm kind of semi-high on this Allen guy. Man, this Allen dude hits, and he just wrecks your day. Man, he is a powerful hitter. Jotko, he has got good kickboxing, he has got good footwork, good movement, but I think, man, he's gonna get hit today in that fight against Allen, and it's gonna rock him, and I think he's gonna go down, and I would not be surprised if he gets a TKO or knockout for Allen in the first or second round, man. I think Allen's got a good skill set. He's got, his grappling's of a good level, don't get me wrong, but I think his striker, man, he's got these hands, and some guys have that pop in their hands, some guys don't. Allen's just one of them dudes where he just has to hit you with a simple 1-2 and he's going to put you to sleep, and he's done it a couple of times with dudes where he hits them and he just sends them to another planet. And man, I'm going Allen, man, knockout, first, second round, man.
That was the one glaring thing that I seen in Amedovski, was that when he hits you, you usually hit the mat. So that's always a plus to come into the UFC. By if you put hands on someone and you catch them clean, then you usually put them down. That's a big thing. One thing that really worries me though is takedown defense. I think he's got a really bad takedown defense, and I've kind of got a question mark over his cardio a little bit. He's only ever been 2 rounds, not even 2 rounds, I don't think. So that kind of scares me a little bit. But like Jotko, I think is definitely on that progression where he's. I thought, to be fair, he won some decent fights.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's went on as thought. I thought he beat someone like David Branch. I actually thought he beat someone like Uriah Hall. Yeah. But then he's been knocked out in his last couple of fights, and that's not a good thing against a power puncher and someone like Amedovski here. So interesting fight. I can see this kind of going one or two ways. The fact I think that Amedovski could catch him with a shot, knock him out, or I could see just Jotko making these rounds very close and him getting the kind of siding with the judges. So I don't know where to go. I think I'm going to go Amedovski. So I think I've got more confidence in him landing a shot and actually hurting. What's his name again? Jotko. So I'll go Alan Amedovski. I'll go a kind of mid-round of the second round TKO victory there for me. Moving on, Roxanne Modafferi against Antonina Shevchenko. Antonina Shevchenko for me in this one. I think just going off, this is kind of rough for old Roxy coming over there to Russia.
She probably speaks Russian, knowing her. Yeah. Speaks everything else.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me one little bit. But I think this is just another set-up fight kind of for Antonina, just by looking at it. Not much in age-wise, like considering like Antonina really hasn't been in the kind of fight game all that long. MMA-wise, she's been in with her sister, obviously doing a lot of kickboxing and so on. So she's at a kind of disadvantage MMA-wise for sure, considering that Roxy's knocking on 40 fights in her career. But, I mean, Roxanne getting old now. She's kind of closer to 40 years old. She's slow. She's very hittable. She's susceptible to someone like Shevchenko with a high output of strikes that will land a little bit more. Her accuracy is pretty good as well. And I think she'll pretty much land double the amount of strikes that what Roxy can in a fight. Now, I think if Roxy was to make this interesting, was to take this to the ground, I do think she's open for strikes, though. And I think that the more volume comes from Antonina, this to me is a set-up fight for Antonina to get a win here. But like I say, the Happy Warrior, as she calls herself, she could kind of pull a spanner out the works and maybe make a bit of a shock here. I don't see it. I like Antonina to kind of piece her up for 15 minutes to win a decision here.
Even though she's not got the experience, like you say, bro, the five MMA fights, look who her sister is. You know, the two of them train together all the time. So I always say Alexey, I think, you know, she's prepped her as well for fight camps and training, obviously. So her grappling's probably really underrated, like Valentina's was. You know, people kind of underestimated what her grappling was like. And I think the same be saying for Antonina. I think she's got good grappling. We just don't have to see it yet. But I don't think we'll see it. I think she'll probably have good takedown defense and she's going to light up Roxanne. But Roxanne, to her credit, she goes into fights and takes a licking and still stays standing. Like, she's got a weirdly good chin. She's got some of the best spinning back kicks you've ever seen. But I think, man, I feel bad for Roxanne because this is exactly what it is, mate. It's made. This fight is given to Shevchenko to go in there, put on a performance. It's weird because obviously the weight class that she's in, and Roxanne obviously recently, but kind of fought for the title. So it's a good win for Shevchenko to get, but I think it's just going to be a showcase for her, man. And she's just going to probably get. I'm going to give her credit. I'm going to give Roxanne credit. I think she'll get a decision, Shevchenko. But I think Roxanne's face is going to look like she's put her face in the bee's nest.
Light heavyweight division. This guy is really interesting. Ivan Shtyrkov against Devin Clark. How do you see this one going?
Man, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because like Devin Clark ain't great. It's the best way to put it. Like he is what he is. He's a okay fighter. He's not great striking. He's good, strong wrestling, but that's about as far as it get with Devin Clark. I don't see much in there that stands out. Ivan is, obviously he's had to go down to light heavyweight because of all the special supplements he's taken when he was heavyweight. He's dropped his natural weight down to light heavyweight. And if he even passes, I don't even know how he's going to pass anything. I swear, if I shook hands with him, I think my arm would grow 10 times. You know, he's just, there's no way that dude's natural. Not a hope. I'm telling you now, folks, there is no way that dude is natural. Honestly, he's about natural as a plastic spade, that guy. Absolutely jacked to the gills. He probably pisses acid. You know, it's crazy. That dude is just weird. Like, he's not good technically. He's been rocked. Look at the Bigfoot Silver fight. He was rocked by Bigfoot Silver several times. You know, he's got no neck, so that kind of helped him take the punches, but his striking's wild. He just comes at you wild. I think Devin Clark, if he's smart, just get the takedown. Like, as Ivan just comes charging at you with the not so elegant striking, just shoot in, double leg, get him down. He'll probably pop up a few times, but man, it pains me to say it, but I think the Roid Rage is going to win. You know, I'm going to go with Ivan just because he's so wild. And Devin Clark, for me, I just don't know. I don't think he's great enough in the wrestling to win. I don't think he's great enough in the striking to win. I just think the roid rage will win for Ivan, being at home. It pains me to say it, to be fair. But I don't know what he's going to look like at 205, Ivan. I want to see him get down that weight as well. But yeah, I'm going to go Ivan. Gosh, rubbish decision. You know, like a 2-1 decision, maybe a split decision. But it's not a fight I'm overly fussed about. And not two guys I'm overly fussed about either, because Ivan's going to get banned after this fight anyway. And yeah, so yeah, that's about it, mate.
Yeah, like I say, this is a guy I've kind of known about for a little bit. He's one of Danny Rube's guys, and it's someone that I always keep an eye on, especially coming out of Tiger Muay Thai. But this guy's kind of all action, and he throws everything into everything. So every strike he throws, you can guarantee there's a shit ton of power behind it. Not much technique, but the guy hits like a truck. And when you look at his resume, he's beat some. They're named guys.
Yeah.
They're UFC guys. If you beat guys with the kind of UFC through their record, it's going to count for something. So your Bigfoot, your Phil de Vries, Maldonado, Thiago Silva, Jeff Monson, whoever you up there. But like, the guy has no gas tank. He gets visibly tired very, very quick. Throws power into everything, but can drop anybody. He's actually got a fairly decent chin himself, because he needs it, considering the amount of the lack of defense that the guy has. Good wrestling. Good body lock takedowns, good double legs, trips, and that kind of comes from his sambo background. And when he's on top, the guy's just a fight ender. He ends fights up there, whether it be him wanting to rip your arm off, which it looks like he does in some fights, especially the armbar. Like, he looks vicious when he gets that arm. It looks like he literally wants to rip off and beat you up with it. Regarding Devin Clark, how do I see this matchup going? I think Clark's actually a really good athlete. I think he's pretty athletic, pretty well rounded. I think he's got power, he's got speed, he's aggressive, got wrestling, so he's pretty well rounded, but he's just not high level at all. But his biggest thing, I think, that sticks out is his chin. I think he's got a very weak chin, and I think he can be knocked out. I think his aggressiveness here could actually really hurt him against this guy, because this guy just throws fighting and power every time, and he does usually land. But I think he's got a shot if he can get it past maybe the first round, because this guy is going to gas his ass off very, very quickly. He might even be the better stand-up striker, but he's just got a weak chin, so he has to be careful. I'm not really sold on Shtyrkov in this one. I think he's going to win some fights. He's going to have some violent finishes, but I definitely think he's going to get beat up a little bit in that light heavyweight division. I think Devin Clark's a little bit live, but I'll pick Ivan Ural Hulk here to kind of win. I'll pick knockout. If I'm talking about the weak chin of Devin Clark, then I'll pick him to win there. So I'll go with the win.
He'll win and lose some in a couple of years, mate.
Yeah, I think
not for a couple of years though.
Yeah, depends on the gift you give him, at least.
After he gets popped.
Yeah. Who knows? Because he is an absolute. It looks like he's on like.
There is no way that is a natural body, folks. I am telling you now.
So yeah, moving on, heavyweight division: Sergey Pavlovich against Marcelo Golm. This is me, isn't it?
It's you, bro. Yeah.
Pavlovich. The boat is kind of sailed on me on Marcelo Golm. He had his opportunity in that fight. Which fight was it? What was his last fight? I've totally had a mind for it here. Where I thought, was it Arjun Singh?
Yeah.
Arjun Singh Bula. I thought he could knock that guy out. I really did think he could come and win that fight. And nope. I'd be surprised. This guy, I think, has been brought in as fodder here for Pavlovich, who a lot of people were actually really quite high on when he came in, but he just was given too big a push in his debut against Alistair Overeem.
That's a hell of a push, though. Let's be honest, mate. That's a horrible push.
He's got a massive reach, though. 6'3", 4-inch reach, southpaw. He's going to keep Marcelo Golm at reach here. And I think he's actually going to hurt this guy pretty badly. This to me is just when I look at it as a set-up fight for Pavlovich to get that first UFC win, where they can most definitely build upon on him there. He's got a 12-1 record. So he's got a decent-looking record. The guy's a knockout artist, and I don't think Marcelo Golm's defense across his grappling, across his striking is all that good. And he can go 15 minutes, 25 minutes very, very easily as well. I'll go Pavlovich. I think he will actually knock this guy out inside the first 2 rounds. Marcelo Golm he came into the UFC far too early. Just kind of like that Randy Costa, in my opinion, last night. There's sometimes the UFC bring him in just too early for their own good. It would do him a lot to go out and just do his own thing in the regionals. Pavlovich, for me, knockout. In fact, I'll go first round knockout.
Mate, I'm with you as well. I thought Golm, I said it when he got signed, it was too early for him. He got some easy fights against the lesser heavyweight opponents who should have been in the UFC anyway. But then, obviously, I just don't see much in Golm. I don't know what it is. I don't know what people see. Well, I don't know what the UFC was seeing. Pavlovich, he's legit, though. And I know we got Overeem, and it was a hell of a fight. And I was, when I did tape study on Pavlovich before the Overeem fight, I thought, well, Overeem is, get caught in the chin. But I just thought maybe Pavlovich this is the fight he needed to start his career with. This should have been his first fight. I know he had the hype, like you said, Will, but this is the ideal kind of fight he should be getting, And I'm with you, Will. I think he's actually going to start Golm, and it's going to be he'll probably get cut, or they'll keep him for cannon fodder for new guys coming in. But yeah, Pavlovich is a legit contender in that heavyweight division in a couple of years. He's hell of a talent. Just because you lose your first fight doesn't mean anything. Especially fighting Overeem. Jeez Louise, the dude's an absolute murderer. Pavlovich, man, fun fighter. I can't wait to see him fight more, and I think he's going to get the beautiful win here.
Yeah. Moving on, co-main event. Islam Makhachev against Arman Tsarukyan, I think it is. Tsarukyan, that's it.
Yeah, I call him Arman. Arman, yeah.
I don't pronounce the T, so Tsarukyan, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not the best with names with this one, if I'm being honest with you. How do you see it going?
Man, this is a great fight. We were talking off air about this one, man, and it's gonna be a good crack. It's crazy because it's a co-main event, but obviously because he had some fight, 2 heavyweight kind of full fights rejigged around on it. But he's got a legit win, Arman as well, against Junior Assunção, who's the lesser of the Assunção brothers, but outside in the regional scene, it's a legit win. Islam Makhachev is an absolute savage, as you and I know, Will. He is an absolute beast. And he's just fought, he fought Kason Johnson, who's just weirdly awkward to win against. I don't know how to describe Kason Johnson. And he got a submission, and a lot of people find it really difficult to even catch Kason because he just runs around, just a couple of shots and runs. Starch, T-bow, and he's a legit talent. But this Arman, he's a talented kid. He's got good striking. He's got good submission wins himself. So he's no joke. He's like Tiger Muay Thai again. A handful of those Tiger Muay Thai kids coming through. And he's a good talent. I'm going to pick Islam Makhachev only because Islam Makhachev is a savage. And I think that just off the basis of Islam is a legit killer with the grappling aspect as well. Not just striking. I'm going to go Islam here for maybe a late submission win, but I'm going to go decision, probably my heart of hearts, I think decision win for Islam Makhachev, because I think Arman's going to be quite a big underdog. I don't know what the odds are, Will. Is there any odds out for this one yet?
Yeah, there's some odds. Islam's a massive favourite.
Yeah, I thought that'd be the case. But Arman's he's live, folks. He is live. If I'm looking at this, I don't think it's any way you can write Arman off. I think he's live in the fight, but I just think Islam, lot more experience in the UFC, experience fighting guys. So I'm going to pick Islam Makhachev decision, but do not write Arman off. He's going to be a fun dude in this lightweight division.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this one. I like the newcomer coming into the UFC here, and I'm actually going to pick him. I'm going to take a flyer here and pick him. He's plus 400, so Ooh. He is a massive underdog. But I like what's seen. Like I said, my initial the big worry I've got is obviously the caliber opposition that Islam's faced. He's been in the UFC a while. He trains with great guys, and I think he might be stronger here. But when I look at Tsarukyan, beat some ex-UFC vets, which is decent to have again. A really good addition to the lightweight roster, and he's very, very young with a very, very high ceiling. A great wrestler with unbelievable timing. That's the first thing I saw. I thought, you're a really good. You've got some great timing on you there. If he doesn't get the first time, really good at adjusting and getting that takedown eventually. Unbelievable chain wrestling. And he's, like I say, he's just very, very good in the whole grappling aspect. Transitions well, can land a lot of ground and pound from like short amounts of distance as well. Awesome at taking the back. And he's just great at kind of pulling guys into positions that they're not used to really getting pulled down from as well. On the feet, it's something that when you watch his fights, he's kind of gradually got better. Has some good kicks, likes to spin a little bit. He's got a kind of great jab at times when he wants to. But he'll not just stick with the kicks. He will mix them up with head strikes as well. He doesn't kind of discriminate. He will attack the leg, he will attack the body, he will go high. And like I say, he likes to kind of spin a lot. But a lot of flash, but a lot of talent in there as well. A really good wrestler, grappler. If he decides he wants to go in one aspect and get that grappling, then I think he will have a good chance to win the fight. But like I say, I am worried about the fact that Makhachev might be a little bit stronger and just a little bit too experienced this for. But I do like what I see from Arman this one here.
Yeah, agreed.
Obviously, Islam is going to be the favourite, and with a newcomer coming into the UFC here, it's the way it is. But I really like Arman's grappling. I think you could possibly see him getting him down. Whether he keeps Islam there is another thing altogether. I think Islam might be able to get him back and maybe get him down a couple of times there. For me, I would never bet Islam Makhachev at minus 500. The value is on Arman at plus 400. But then again, you have to take everything into with a kind of pinch of salt here, and that's the fact that Makhachev just got so much experience. He trains with the best lightweight in the world. But Arman's going to win a lot of fights in the UFC. He's got a high ceiling.
Yeah.
Another guy I think makes top 15, along with Yakovlev, who fought earlier on the card. But I'm going to take a shot on Arman to win this fight. A big shock here. I'm kind of throwing a Hail Mary out there, and we'll see how it goes. How does he win the fight? I don't know. Maybe a close split decision that he gets, but it's a tough one for me. I just feel like I want to take a shot. So
he's legit, bro.
He's a very good. He's going to be a very good fighter.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, he looks very good. So I'll take Arman in the big kind of upset victory there. And the main event of the night, Alistair, the Demolition Man, Overeem against Alexey Oleinik. I will continue to pick against Alexey Oleinik, and he will probably continue to keep on winning. Because he's not a great fighter, but the guy is super fucking dangerous and awkward and just, I mean, I cannot believe that. I love watching him though. He's great to watch because I think that he's just, if you have to really put him out, because if you don't and you give him any opportunity, this dude's going to literally just try and give you a cuddle, but will submit you at the same time, and he'll be tapping out if you're standing up, if you're on the ground. It doesn't matter where you are. If this guy gets his arms and he gets them locked, you're tapping out there. When you look at both guys here, you look at the overall game of Overeem, and he is better. He's a far better striker. The guy's got great jiu-jitsu as well. He's just got an underrated kind of grappling game. But you don't want to grapple with someone like Oleinik because he's just dangerous. He's got that stigma around him that if he puts his arms around you, you're going to get submitted. It doesn't matter where you are. You might get away with that with someone like a Victor Pesta or maybe Anthony Hamilton or something like that. You might not get away with that with something like Overeem, but or like someone like Mark Hunt. He might get away with it. He can catch people like Mark Hunt who the ground games aren't that great. Overeem's got a ground game and is very, very dangerous. But you don't want to grapple with this guy, so he needs to fight long and pick his shots well, because Oleinik will come forward. His chin stays very, very stationary. He can whip body kicks. He can whip leg kicks. He should win this fight 99 out of 100 times, Alistair Overeem. Fucking, I bet against Oleinik every time and lose. I don't think I'm gonna bet Overeem this time. I'm gonna pick him though. I think he knocks out Oleinik with inside maybe the first round, the second round. I'll go first round actually, but just don't let this guy get your hands on you. Like even to shake your hands or like touch gloves before the fight even starts. He could submit you just with that fucking glove touch or something. I'll go Alistair Overeem. I'll actually go a first round knockout there, but just watch Oleinik come and pull out some miraculous submission out of nowhere and win the fight. To be fair to him, he dropped Mark Hunt in that last fight.
He did, so yeah.
Maybe he's striking, although it looks terrible, he's maybe got a little bit of power in there that we don't know about, but I'm going to pick Alistair Overeem. I'm never picking Alexey Oleinik. Heavyweights
always have power because they're heavy.
Yeah.
It's always, physics comes into play. It's always going to... If you're 250 pounds and you swing your arm, that's a 250-pound arm hitting you. He's always going to have that pop. I think as well, we all know Mark Hunt was just like, I'm out. I'm not... Yeah. We all knew that anyway. So, Gene Albino, Mark Hunt, meh. For Alexey, meh. Alistair Overeem, way different fighter than he was years ago. Very good at management with distance. Very, patient. Picks the shots well. Times his shots. As you said there before, Will, he is very underestimated with the grappling. People always overlook his grappling, and he is actually a really good grappler, Alistair Overeem. So I think he's going to be able to defend a takedown against Alexey if it does go there. But this is not going 5 rounds. No chance. There's no way this is going 5 rounds. Alexey is the dad bod king, 41 years old. He's just somehow winning, chugging away, getting his wins. But then again, does it say a lot about the UFC heavyweight division, I think Overeem's going to catch him as well, Will. I think the footwork and the angles that Overeem can produce, and the knees as well. We've got to remember, Overeem's got gnarly knees. If it gets to the clinch game, Overeem ain't going to be shy and throwing knees on him. I'm going to go with Overeem as well. I think he's going to stop him. Curtis Blades caused problems for Alexey, and I think Overeem can do exactly the same thing, just popping those hands out. I think Overeem's going to be getting a nice little finish here in this one. I'll go, like you say, within 3, he'll stop Alexey.
Yeah. So overall, like I say, I'm not going to be able to watch this card because I'll be at work. But I will be coming home and I will be watching it late at night. I'll probably be coming home and watching Oleinik pull off like a fucking handstand submission. So yeah, that's our picks for UFC St. Petersburg. I haven't got any bets so far. I have a few that I like though. I like Oleinik parlayed with Yakovlev, which I think comes to plus money, which I'm about to actually look at putting on right now, actually, before I go to bed, before the lines start changing, because usually when it hits fight week, I think people will be on Mikhail and that line will skyrocket a little bit. I'm going to take a shot on Arman at plus 400, like a little shot on that guy with big profit coming back. Fiziev,
what's he?
He was an underdog last time I looked. Where are we?
I'd imagine he's staying at underdog as well, to be honest with you. Newbie coming into the game.
Plus 150, so a kind of sizable underdog. 150 is a good number.
What's Sergey Pavlovich?
He is minus 280, so he's probably a good parlay end, actually, which someone I might actually look at around. Amadovsky's plus 155. Nakamura's a minus 115. I think that fight's a little bit too close for my liking. So
what about Mikhail? What's he?
Minus 205. Oof. But his line is different over here in the UK. He's minus 187, minus 180 actually. So that's not too bad. You go ahead and bet that in the UK right now, because that I can see close at fight time him being a minus probably 300 favourite, close to it. So but the bets I'm kind of looking at is Yakovlev and who else did I say?
Oleinik.
Mikhail together in a parlay. Not betting Oleinik.
What's Alan? What's Alan's and Jotko?
Yeah, he's plus 155.
So there you go. So that's another one to go on for, yeah.
Yeah, Tybura minus 160 is actually not bad. I like it to kind of come down a little bit if it comes down.
What's Shevchenko at?
Minus 355, so a big favourite over. Roxanne's plus 300 on that. So, to to that card actually looks a lot like a kind of parlay kind of card to me. Last night, who did I bet last night? Actually, I had the slightest of losing nights, like nothing.
Boston Salmon wrecked my day.
Boston Salmon wrecked my day as well. But I had 4 bets. The 2 losing bets I had was Max Holloway to win in rounds 4, 5, or by decision. Plus 175 that lost, but was I thought it had a chance when it went to the cards, but obviously I didn't agree with the 49-46 cards, by the way.
No, I don't know where they got that either. I've watched a couple of rounds back again. I don't know if it's a 10-8 first round. Maybe I don't know.
See, I don't know about that. That to me, it wasn't a 10-8. I thought it was very close to being that, but
I assume that's the only reason they can get those scores. That's all I'm trying to put it onto.
I think Max has actually got a legit chance of winning 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think 2's close. He'd give it to Pori. To me, 3, 4, and 5, I think I edge Max, but I need to go back and watch again. But yeah, next week looks like a parlay card. Boston Salmon lost. Who else did I bet on? Krylov won as an underdog for me. Max Griffin won. And I was absolutely loving that fight. I wasn't loving it. I was kind of sweating it a little bit because Max
gassed.
But within the first 45 seconds, Imadaev got a point taken, which I thought the ref did a great job there, actually.
Love that. So happy that happened.
But yeah, I will probably never bet Max Griffin again because that was too sweaty for my liking. So, so that's my picks and that's my bets for... or some of my bets. Keep an eye on my Bet MMA tips page if you do all that, and you'll see what bets I put on. Next week, Jacare against Jack Hermansson. Interesting fight.
Very interesting,
but the guy in the co-main event we're not really going to talk about, who's on another UFC poster. That kind of pisses me off. He's on another UFC poster. But Cowboy Oliveira, Mike Perry, great fight. Glover, Kutalaba, great fight. Lineker, Sanhagen, great fight.
Just Lineker in general. Anyone he could fight. He could fight Punchbag and I'd be all over it.
Roosevelt Roberts gets another showing. He looked fantastic in the UFC debut against another tough guy, and Thomas Gifford coming into UFC here. Arlovsky's on the prelims. You've got Court McGee on the early prelims. Jim Miller on the early prelims. And then I actually just saw this fight. Actually, right now, Carla Esparza against Verna Jandiroba, who's coming over for Victor.
Because someone was injured, wasn't it? Who was Carla's going to fight originally?
Lavinia Souza.
There you go,
her. So she's coming in here with an undefeated 14-0 record.
Yeah, she's a bad girl.
So until next week, like, comment, subscribe, leave your bets, leave your picks, get us over 500 subs, and let's get cracking for the rest of the year and see what number we can hit by the end of the year. We appreciate all your support, especially last week. I think it was one of our biggest videos we've did. Much respect for coming on. So that's awesome. Until next week, from I was going to say Mike and John there, so that's something I shouldn't have said. From Will and from Joe, I'm not in a wheelchair. So from Will, from John, we'll see you next week for UFC Florida.